All right, kids, welcome back. So today we have a day. It has been a hell of a week. Yeah, I don't even know how to start this. So we have had an interesting week. Our horse, or my wife's horse, actually broke through one of our electric fences that separate some of our pastures. So I had to tear all that down. I ended up redoing a bunch of it and tightening everything up. Went around the whole perimeter, and the deer were chaotic on our electric fences this year. So I went through, tightened everything up. You can kind of see everything out there. We've kind of redone, but I took advantage of it, kind of did a silver lining thing with it. And we are working on our pig pasture. I was tossing back and forth whether or not I was going to get it done this year. Well, we decided that we're going to get it done. So in the midst of that, we got our corners done, a couple of our wood posts put in, and we are starting to get the rest of the stuff done. But in the midst of that, the tractor's been dead for 3 days. We've been running around like crazy picking up materials, and it is never a dull moment here. So today we're just gonna kind of do, it's gonna be a fairly time lapse, but I am gonna stop it and we'll talk about some things we're doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up and put in the last wood post on this stretch, and we'll start stretching some woven wire. We're gonna pull some T-posts. We're gonna reel in some of the electric lines so we can reuse it, and just kind of touch on some of that stuff, just what we're doing, what we're planning on doing, and you're gonna watch me go really fast. So let's get you set up and we'll get going with it. So I'm sure you guys are probably watching going, hey Kyle, what happened to that fancy post hole digger that you bought that worked fantastic? Well, digging that corner up there, we went ahead and snagged a rock, and the throttle cable got pinched and it turned into a giant spinning death machine. So that was fun, and in the process of stopping that, the on-off switch broke, so they're going to be getting a strongly written email, and we'll see if I get a new post hole digger or not. So we're doing everything by hand now, unfortunately. I am lucky in the fact that it's super sandy soil up here. I mean, you can see it for yourself. It's very little rocks, and if there are, they're fairly small. We do have certain sections that are pretty rocky, but again, I've lived all over New Hampshire. This is probably the furthest north we've lived, but I've lived on the seacoast, central, a little further west, and it's just, there's a reason they call New Hampshire the Granite State. So, again, I'm very lucky with the soil content here. But, so we have this stretch done. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is set you guys up, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll out this woven wire. What's nice about the woven wire is, once you set the wood posts, you can go in, staple everything on, and then go back and put your T-posts in. But kind of like I showed you on the last video, with the pig fencing in there, that was just a small one. We're going big this time. What I like to do, it's probably a little hard to tell on camera, but as you go down, the elevation goes down. So what I like to do at every point of where the elevation shifts, I like to put a wood post. And you'll see why once I start stapling everything on. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna staple it up there at that corner post, stretch everything out, hook it up to the tractor, and tighten the shit out of it. And then go back through after the fact and actually push down the woven wire where it needs to be ground level, staple everything in, so that way it's tight, it's level, and it's just super easy. I mean, it is super easy. It's just a pain in the butt. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get you guys set up and we're gonna go to town. All right, so we're back. As you can see, we have all the wire laid out. The hard part about using a started roll is you always end up being short by like 6 feet, which is exactly what I'm at right now. So what we are going to do, we're gonna go ahead and stretch it the way it is. We're gonna see how far this will take us. I am deciding whether or not I'm going to do this the right way because I'm filming it, but I think we're going to do it the redneck way and just connect to that post right there and hope that it's been in the ground long enough that it's rigid enough. And I have another smaller spool of woven wire that we will just start on that. And what I have there should take care of the other small stretch I need. And then we can open up the new roll I just bought. This one is the multi-stock woven wire. So if you can see it, down on the bottom, they have the smaller squares. So if you have piglets or something like piglets or lambs or anything like that, they're not gonna be able to get through it. And then it goes up larger just because, again, once something's that big, it's not going to be fitting through any fence. I like this one. It's a little bit cheaper. I think I pick it up at Tractor Supply for $2.79 a roll, and it's 330 feet per roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you guys situated and set up, and I'm going to start tensioning this. I swear, I know what I'm doing. All right, kids, we're back. So we have all the woven wire stretched. We've got it all the way down. Naturally, we had a section that was not going to make it. And I'm like, you know what? That second piece that I have is definitely going to make it. Well, they were about 1.5 feet from each other. So what we ended up doing was just starting a new spool, taking it out, and we got it stretched with the fence stretcher. So that method does work. It is fantastic. But yeah, so we also got that other line done along that side over there. So now this entire corner is completely done. And I can focus on getting the rest of the electrical done so I can get the cows back in here. So what I'm going to do now is get some T-posts put in, strengthen everything up, and more than likely I'll put you on time lapse and we'll get some of that done. All right, so we got all the T-posts put in. It took a little longer than I thought it was going to, just because I had to take all the old insulators off of those T-posts. I'm just reusing them. They were originally here for this fence and that middle fence out there. So instead of lugging out all the new ones, let's reuse the old ones. What's nice and not nice about the plastic insulators, of course I don't have one on me, they will break over time, for sure. The T-post, like the generic ones you get at Tractor Supply, they will break. It's constant maintenance with them. When you're taking them off to reuse the T-posts, it's fantastic. You just pop them right off. When you're trying to keep an existing fence intact, it sucks. That's what I spent most of the day yesterday doing, is redoing all of these, going through. I've still got about a dozen I need to go and button up on. But what we are going to do now is I'm going to come around and fasten this woven wire to the T-posts. I showed that on the shorter fence I did in the pig pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, bust this out really quick, and give you guys a final walkthrough. Like I said in previous videos talking about fencing, this is a big project. With the way life is at the moment, I'm not going to get this all done today, even though I would absolutely love to. But so what we are going to do, we're going to break this up into sections. My main priority today was to get this corner done, so that way I can get my cows onto pasture. They're done in the winter pasture. I'm done having them there, and right now our horses in the corral, which I don't love having them there either. It's not a really large space for it. But what I wanted to say is, I don't know everything when it comes to all this. I am really winging it. I've had people on the way that have mentored me and kind of showed me a thing or two, and a lot of it I've learned on YouTube. That's why I'm kind of giving it back. I never want anyone to come to me and say, this guy knows everything he's talking about, because I have no idea. We're just kind of figuring out as it goes along. Like I said, I feel like I'm doing a good job for the education I have and what we got going on, and I wanted to share with you guys. So we are, like I said, nothing needs to be perfect. I mean, you can look at this fence and it's about as straight as Siegfried and Roy. So, but at the end of the day, it's going to keep pigs in. Again, it's not going to be just this woven wire. We are going to run electric as well in here. So there'll be a whole video on running electric. We still have another 3/4 of this fence to go through. More than likely, what I'll end up doing is probably taking all of the T-posts that are existing right now, take them out so I don't have to either record or do it while I am recording. So that way we just have a fresh canvas so I can show you guys a little bit more what's going on here. So I would say to expect at least 3 more videos on this pasture build. Again, I'm going to try and make it different. If the next video is me doing the exact same thing I was doing today, I'm not going to make you sit through it, because it's pretty much the same thing. If you want to, put it down in the comments. I'll record it if you guys want. But I want to keep things fresh, keep things moving, and kind of give people some information and some insight on some stuff that either they've done before and they want to know a different way to do it, or they've never done it before and they're trying to figure it out. So we will catch you guys in a little bit, and I will give you the final walkthrough. All right, guys. So I just finished getting all of the T-posts connected to the woven wire. As you can see, you just kind of wrap it around there like that. Holds everything in really tight. And as you can see now, the bottom is a lot more supported. Again, if something wants to get out of the bottom, it's going to get out of the bottom. But it deters them pretty well. And like I said, there needs to be electric run with woven wire if you want something that is absolutely going to be secure, that you know. If you're doing like a smaller paddock that you just wanted to keep secure, they didn't want to run electric, you could do the cattle panels. They can't bend those. Like, they are pretty rugged and they're gonna have a real hard time getting out of those. Yeah, I mean, this project took me a little longer than I was hoping to. On the solo posts, I usually only put 1 staple per line. And if I can, if it lines up correctly, I'll put it at an angle over all of the cross sections. That way it has the most support, has the most strength on it. But then we'll pop over here to the one that I had to combine. I like to double these up. It just gives a little extra support. And when it's something like this, I'll cut, say I'm cutting this one, I'll cut it here. So that way I have a little extra wire, and I'll just do this. I'll wrap it around. Again, it gives it a little extra strength and a little less to worry about. So this is going to be your corner over here. It's not the exact 45 corner just because of how I was connecting it over here. But again, we're just kind of chugging along, getting everything done that we can. Is it the prettiest project I've ever done? Absolutely not. Is it going to be? No. But for what we're going to do, it's going to work out real well. Like I said, our next project is going to be pulling out all of those T-posts, taking all the insulators off, and rolling up all the electric line that's strung out. I am a big proponent of do it once and don't do it again. And I thought that's what was going to happen. Unfortunately, I got into pigs, and I've decided that's going to be more of a moneymaker to me than beef, and I don't want to chase stuff. So we're doing this right this time. I hopefully will not have to take this apart again. And we'll hopefully have this set up for a long time. So we're gonna head off for the night. I'm gonna do a couple other things, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.